Welcome back with our main topic today. Well, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi gave his directives to finalize the final touches of the Grand Egyptian Museum using the latest standards in order to reflect the magnitude and the ancient Egyptian civilization and show how unique it was. To shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have with us over the phone Mr. Ihab Kamel, historian and researcher. Good morning, Mr. Kamel.
Good morning.
Mr. Kamel, could you give us your insight concerning the directives given by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and his keenness in order to hurry up in finishing and furnishing the final touches of the Grand Egyptian Museum?
Well, it's natural that we hear something like this, as we are expecting this museum to be open soon, especially that
Yes.
the whole world had been hearing about the Grand Egyptian Museum, which is going to be one of the most important museums in the whole world, like the British Museum or the Louvre, especially that this museum is going to be the biggest museum in the world that hosts ancient Egyptian pieces. The other museums worldwide, they contain different pieces from different civilizations, while this one will be the biggest museum in the world that hosts pieces that belongs to ancient Egyptian civilization. Also, the publicity and the propaganda that had been made about this museum had filled the world, and the whole world is waiting for this museum to be opened, as it had been described to be one of the biggest museums in the whole world. So it's going to become a big tourist attraction. And as we had said before, actually this is our brand. This is our brand, the ancient Egyptian civilization. So the whole world will be looking forward to see something like this opened, and I believe it's going to attract lots of visitors, especially that this museum is going to host pieces that will be exhibited for the first time, and the world hasn't seen it before.
Yes, Mr. Kamel, in what stage have now the Grand Egyptian Museum have reached until now?
I believe that the museum now is almost ready. It's only final touches that we're waiting for, and it's not going to take long. And I believe very soon it's going to be opened.
Yes.
The only thing is to choose the right date, I believe, and to prepare the arrangements of this inauguration, how it's going to be celebrated, because it has to be an event that the whole world would look at.
Yes, yes. So, Mr. Kamel, the collection or the treasures of King Tutankhamun, after it have toured a large number of cities around the world, like London, like Paris, it has been displayed and showed in exhibitions. It came back to Egypt, and it's going to rest forever in the Grand Egyptian Museum, the 5,000 pieces of Tutankhamun. So could you give us an idea about this?
Well, the Egyptian Museum, or the Grand Egyptian Museum, will contain lots of treasures, lots of unique treasures. But of course, we always say that the grand jewel of the crown, it's the collection of Tutankhamun, as it's the only complete collection that had almost been intact when it was found. As a matter of fact, because of this collection and because of its touring around the world, that has given a great deal of publicity to Egypt as a destination, and attracted lots of people to come and visit Egypt.
Yes.
So imagine when this grand jewel of the crown is exhibited here among this great museum. And also there are other treasures in the museum that will attract visitors. I believe that it's going to be attracting lots of visitors, attracting lots of attention. And I believe we should make a documentary about the Grand Egyptian Museum that would be broadcasted worldwide to introduce this museum to the whole world as one of the most important museums, like the Louvre or the British Museum or like the Hermitage. I believe it deserves this, and it's doable. It's something doable.
Yes, Mr. Kamel, what would the Grand Egyptian Museum, when it's inaugurated, it's the gift of Egypt, of course, to the world. What would the Grand Egyptian Museum add to the map of tourism in Egypt?
Well, the Grand Egyptian Museum itself, it's something expected that we would have a museum that would host our pieces of antiquities, but
yes,
the real addition, it's having something with such magnitude, something with such musological display.
yes,
It's something that the whole world has to be impressed when they see it. The exhibition, the way pieces are exhibited, the way they are arranged, the building itself. So it's an evidence that Egypt can contribute to the world something that they can look at and take as an example.
yes, yes. So I thank you very much for your time and for your valuable information, Mr. Ihab Kamel, historian and researcher. Thank you very much for joining us in this segment. Well, thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a short break and I'm going to be back with you.